Ilara, a night owl with a penchant for the obscure, found herself staring at the flickering glow of her laptop screen. One minute she was researching Victorian morning rituals for a creative writing project. The next, she was tumbling down a digital rabbit hole. It began innocently enough, a link buried deep within a forum dedicated to antique photographs. This initial link, a hazy image of a seemingly ordinary family portrait, led to a website that spoke of spirit photography, a long-discredited practice of capturing ethereal figures alongside the living. The website itself was unsettling, a dizzying array of grainy images and rambling text, peppered with pseudoscientific explanations and conspiratorial whispers. Ilara, usually rational and grounded, felt a strange pull, like a moth drawn to a flickering flame. This was the first hole, a portal into a forgotten corner of the internet, where the lines between reality and delusion blurred. From the spirit photography website, a single, cryptic comment caught her eye. A user calling themselves the Archivist mentioned an unseen archive, a collection of images and texts purged from mainstream historical records. A link followed, pointing to an anonymous file-sharing site. The second rabbit hole opened, a dark and seemingly endless corridor of fragmented information. Ilara found herself sifting through corrupted image files, scanned diary entries with chillingly detached descriptions, and audio clips of static punctuated by distorted whispers. These weren't about harmless practices anymore. They hinted at something darker, something far more sinister than mere spirit photography. They spoke of forced isolation, experiments on the vulnerable, and an unspeakable cruelty disguised as scientific inquiry. The sheer volume of information, most of it damaged and incomplete, painted a horrifying picture, like looking at a jigsaw puzzle with only half the pieces. The third rabbit hole was stumbled upon through an obscure reference found within one of the diary entries. It led to what seemed like a perfectly normal online community, a forum dedicated to model trains. But within the harmless veneer, hidden within the comments and the forum structure were coded messages. They referred to the network, a group of individuals who supposedly continued the practices hinted at in the unseen archive. Ilara felt a chill run through her. These weren't just internet conspiracy theorists anymore. They seemed organized. They spoke in a jargon that was both unsettlingly familiar and completely unintelligible. The language of the network was a blend of historical terminology and modern digital slang, a twisted dialect that felt both ancient and chillingly contemporary. The final rabbit hole, the one that threatened to swallow Ilara whole, was accessed through a password hidden within the coded forum posts. It led to a virtual space, a minimalist web page devoid of imagery, except for a single, constantly shifting series of symbols. Below the symbols was a single sentence. "They're watching. Always." The web page seemed to be tracking something, perhaps Ilara herself? A cold dread washed over her. Had she stumbled too far? Was this virtual rabbit hole a one-way trip? The screen seemed to buzz with an unseen energy. And for the first time since she started, Ilara closed her laptop, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The internet, once a realm of curiosity, now felt like a dangerous, labyrinthine beast, one she wasn't sure she could ever escape. The shadows in her room felt a little darker now, and the silence a little more sinister.